Ready? So, hi, good afternoon. This is Jason Legue from Teufelberger Tree Care. I'm the market manager for the Americas. First off, if we dive into our lunch and learn, I'd like to thank Tree Stuff for the opportunity for us to spend some time with you all to go over a little bit of our company history, do a little bit of a walkthrough with our new tree motion harness with our brand ambassador, Bo Negan, and then follow up with any Q&A. And at this point, I'd like to turn us over to Ludo and Patrick, our team over in Austria, who's going to tell you a little about our company history, where we came from, and what we do.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever, where you are in the world. I'm Ludo Rambert. I'm the business unit manager at Teufelberger Tree Care. There is my colleague.
Hi, I'm Patrick. I'm product manager for Tree Care Products. Nice to meet you.
And we'll do a short presentation. We'll not bother you so much, but it's always good to know where we are coming from and who is Teufelberger. Then I will share my screen and we'll go for a few slides. And after I will give way more time to Bo, which will present the new Tree Motion Essential and Pro. Then let me just starting the screen sharing. Yep. Sorry. Come soon. Yeah, good. Yeah, normally it's good to go. Here we go. Still go like that? Good like that? Good. Then let's start with a bite of history. Teufelberger is a really old company because we get founded and are incorporated for the first time in 1790 by Jakob Teufelberger and in Austria. That means this company is born in Austria, remain in Austria. The headquarters is still in Austria, is based in Wels, which is, I would say, close to the German borders in Upper Austria. That means on the north of Austria. Since last 232 years, the company was always managed by Teufelberger family. And our actual CEO, Florian Teufelberger, is the seventh generation of Teufelberger family who's managing the company. That means out of these 232 years, the company just stopped to work during a year during the Second World War. But out of these 232 years, we stayed active during 231 years. Some numbers about Teufelberger. We are 100% owned by the Teufelberger family. We have three divisions. I will show you a bit later. We have the wire rope, the fiber and plastic, and the fiber rope. We are a really highly international company because 90% of our turnover, which is around 350 million euros, is made abroad Austria. I mean, we are really turned to the world. We are today 1,500 employees. We have 7 production sites in Austria, in Czech Republic, in Italy, in USA, and in Thailand. And also several offices where our R&D, our customer service, our supply chain logistics are based, and but also mainly on the same country where the production sites are, except Sweden and China, where we have also offices. We are the largest safety rope manufacturer in the world. Not the largest rope manufacturer, I insist on that, but the largest safety rope manufacturer in the world. But even we are the biggest one, we are still 100% owned by the family Teufelberger and still managed by one of the members of the family. The organization, I told you that the group Teufelberger is 3 divisions. The first one is the wire rope, where we are manufacturing ropes and steel wire ropes for several different applications like crane, harbor crane, groomer winches, mining, forestry, offshores, technostructures, and this is all manufactured in tight wire rope. The second division is fiber and plastics, where we are specialized on making strappings. The strappings, for the people who don't know, it's the little plastic straps band over your carton box when you're ordering something at Tristuff, for example. The box is coming, there is a plastic straps around, and we are one of the largest fiber and strapping manufacturer, independent manufacturer in the world. And the third division, where Patrick and we are located, it's a fiber rope. I mean, TreeCare is a part of the fiber rope company. Fiber rope is quite also a large company because we are making every ropes for yachting, but also for industrial application, everything related to fall production, ropes and harnesses. TreeCare, commercial marine, means everything out of fibers where ropes is involved. It's manufactured and developed by Teufelberger fiber ropes. And Patrick and we are working for this company. Just to give you an idea of the size of this different division, it's more or less, the biggest one is wire rope, which I would say 50% of the total size of the company. Yep. And after fiber and plastic and fiber rope, which are quite mainly the same, that means 25% each, to give you the size of our division compared to the others. Regarding safety ropes and safety gears, we have, out of the 7 production sites we have all over the world, 2 are dedicated to these safety ropes and safety gears. One is in Fall River. That was initially a former factory of New England, which Teufelberger acquired, I think, 11 or 12 years ago, 11 years ago.
2007.
2007. Yeah. That means Teufelberger made the acquisition of New England Rope. We are based in Fall River. And the second production site is in Czech Republic, in Europe, which is a little bit larger than Fall River, but both plants are able to manufacture safety ropes, PPE ropes, and PPE gears. Both factories are ISO 901, as it's mandatory when you are producing a PPE product or safety products. And the total number of workers is around 450 people at both factories. Now I get down a little bit on fiber rope. You know, we are in the division of fiber ropes. Now our business unit, the TreeCare division, it's way smaller than the company because it's just 15 people with 1 business unit manager. We have 4 market managers. One is Jason, which is with us today. One is in Sweden to take care of the Nordics market, and 2 are in Austria. We have 1 product manager. He sits with me, Patrick. Joined us now
1.5 years ago.
1.5 years ago, but at Teufelberger since 15 years, coming from the rope access world. 4 engineers, and this is something really important for us. It's trying to invest as much as in research and development. And we have 1 dedicated engineers in USA, 1 in Czech Republic, and 2 in Austria. And marketing is important, and especially the content we can share with customers and end users. And then we have 1 person dedicated for that, which is Bruno. Something important also that we must integrate in our team is the 25 ambassadors we have all over the world in 15 countries. They are more and more important for us because they bring us ideas. They bring us also. They try to guide us to be sure that when we are developing or launching a product that will fit the expectation of the end user, wherever you are in North America or Asia or Europe or even South America, and wherever your level in tree climbing, beginners or well-experienced climbers. These ambassadors are a part of our team, and we are working closely with them. Now it's time for product. A lot of people know our range. You know, it's not really a surprise, but 95% of our PP TreeCare products are certified in Europe, in USA, in Australia, New Zealand. And this is really important because most of our products, you can travel all over the world and they are still good to use and complying with the local standards and norms. We have harnesses. We'll speak more about that later after with the tree motion. We have a range of tools, which is the lanyards, all the friction savers. You know them. It's pulley saver, thimble climb, multi-saver, multi-anchor. We have also some through line, like the Dynag line or the 9 line, recently launched. And each cord has ocean polyester, AP cord, HRC. That means we have a big variety of tools available for every kind of techniques when you have to access the trees or work into the trees. Climbing ropes, yeah, this is our DNA. 60% of our business is still made with ropes. It's really important. We have some ropes made in US and some ropes made in Europe. One of the most famous one is a braided safety blue, which is existing on the market since now 23 years, initially invented and developed by New England. Same for the Tachyon, which is there since 17 years, or the Fly since 10 years. That means these are the most three important ropes in our portfolio, made in US. And also we have some ropes made in Europe, like the Adrenaline or the Chameleon. That means our portfolio of safety ropes or climbing ropes, whatever it's for access or working, whatever for SRS or MRS, is quite large. And normally, every end user should be able to find a rope fitting his expectation and his needs. Rigging line with the Sirius Bull rope and the T-Rex plus the Stasset, also a wide portfolio of rigging ropes. Accessory and ambassador line. This is quite new. We are launching more and more accessories, trying also to fit some needs of end users, as with the Key1 Keeper. Key1 Keeper is a beautiful story because it was a product invented by Chris Corley 2.5 years ago, and we find an agreement with him to take over and to help him to make it available all over the world at a reasonable price. And we would like to multiplicate this kind of cooperation in the future with arborists who has fantastic ideas and sometimes missing the manufacturing process or help on R&D just to make their idea real. That's it. As I told you, it's a really small presentation just to remind you that Teufelberger is a really old company, 232 years old, family-owned company, and really specialized on tree care with a dedicated team and a quite wide range of products for you. I'm sure maybe you will have questions, and I will take it later when it's time for Q&A. Now I would like to introduce you Bo Negan, which will make the presentation of the Tree Motion Pro and Essential, which is the new harness we have launched now 20 days ago. And Bo is there to speak about it because he was with us during the development process, and nothing better than the real arborist to speak about an arborist product.
How's everybody doing? I'm Bo Negan. I'm out here at Cantini Park. I'm just west of Chicago. Here is where I work every day. So I thought it'd be a good place to get down and talk about our new product line, where I use it and how I use it. And I don't know if we talked about, you guys have a big event coming up, right? Tree Stuff, Treetopia out west? Yeah, so make sure if you guys get a chance to get out there. What's the location of that again? All right, and I think Teufelberger is going to be out there with our product line, showing it off, our new products out there. So make sure if you get a chance to check that out on the website and make your way out there. So should be a lot of cool, exciting stuff happening there. So,
great,
but I'd like to jump into to the product line you guys are on here about. But you know, just a little about me. I started using the Tree Motion product line back in about 2009, not too long after it started. I have, excuse me, a couple examples of the harnesses here so we can compare. I have the Evo and the old S Lite, and then we have our new Pro. I don't have an Essential with me, but I should be able to talk through all the changes and innovations we have. Being part of this project from the beginning as an ambassador, I'll tell you, it's been fantastic because we have such a wide range of ambassadors that climb everything from tall trees in the Pacific Northwest to short, flat trees in the Midwest like me. So the product line really addresses all the problems that we have in tree care and things that we need to work around, along with we have women and men of different sizes, extremely short, extremely tall, larger people, so that we really make our new harness line fit a much larger variety of people. And we're just really excited about all the different options that we have that we think will get just about everybody to be able to utilize a Tree Motion Pro or a Tree Motion Essential. So I'd like to just kind of go ahead and dive in here. I have the Tree Motion Pro here, and I have the Evo right next to it. And as you can see, we redesigned the whole back portion of the harness shape. We eliminated a lot of things that we felt were useful but unnecessary. The best thing about the whole Tree Motion line is how customizable it is. We have our elastic straps we've used in the past, along with a variety of accessory cordage that allows you to do whatever you want with our harnesses. So we decided to go ahead and eliminate some of these straps and loops. And if you come over to the new one, we cleaned up the back and we gave you a lot of options as far as customizing the gear, making your own loop options, putting your own accessory cordage on there, and designing the layout of the harness really exactly to your needs. So one of the things we eliminated, as you can see, we had the ring on the old harness. We eliminated that, and we just put in just a small webbing loop. And when you get your harness and you look in your instruction manual, you'll see that anything that's in red like this, we'll get into our elastic straps a little bit later, but there's certain portions of it that we redesigned that we realize, everybody might not like the changes, so we allow for the option to remove things. So you can remove this loop per the instructions, how it says in the instructions to do that, and you could replace it possibly with our new open ring that we have as part of the construction of our new harness. So this ring is an open ring, fully rated for life support. We have it colored black for the construction of our harness, as in this configuration, it's not designed as an attachment point for life support, but actually part of the life support structure of the harness. So that's why we identify it as black and not green. But when we do, we are going to sell this separately. And when we do, you could then utilize it as a bridge ring. You could utilize it as a ring similar to the one on the old harness for a chainsaw attachment or something like that. And it allows you to really just fully do whatever you want with your harness and not really be pigeonholed by, we put a ring on there you can't cut off, and you might not want that, or maybe you do. But the great thing about the new harness is it does allow for that option to change. So we have our new layout of our design of our harness. We have back pads in replacement of some of the permanent back support structure in the old harness. We find this to be more streamlined. It really distributes the weight well when you're climbing in it. You can see that we changed over the small bungee cords that support our leg loops with a flat elastic webbing strap for comfort. A lot of people, I'm sure if you've had our harness in the past, you get the small bungee cord caught on something and then you get a snap to the back of your legs. In fact, it's a favorite pastime of mine to do that to people on purpose. But it allows for to avoid that discomfort, and also a smoother, flatter design, so that you don't have a finer, smaller cordage kind of up against your leg. That being said, this is another option where in the instructions you'll find that you can also remove these and replace them with the original style bungee cord suspension system if you prefer that. So, I mean, the best part about the whole redesign is not just the feedback we got from all the ambassadors when we went through all the harnesses, but the fact that Teufelberger's entire staff does a fantastic job when they're out there in the field, when they're out there at climbing competitions. They're listening to what everybody has to say about the harnesses, and they're getting all the feedback from the people that are in them every day to really identify what they like and don't like about the harness. And that was one of the things they mentioned. So it's something that we've changed up a bit and allowed you to have that option. Okay, so let's talk about the customability, right? So we have attachment points for our Cara tools here. On the Tree Motion Pro here, we have 1, 2, 3 on the upper portion of the harness on both sides. And then we even have an extra one right here on the lower portion of the harness. So it gives you a much wider range of where you can put your gear storage tools. And as you can see on the old harness here, we only had 2. We didn't have the lower one, so we added those options. Part of that was feedback from our ambassadors and from people in the field that they were adding in loops in places. So now we've gone ahead and redesigned it, so you have that option when you open the package of the harness that you can put your gear storage loops on there. As you can see from some of the rubber brackets I have on there, the small holes in our harness for our webbing loops also work with a lot of products on the market that allow for gear storage that way. Beyond that, we still have all of the similar options that we've had in the past as far as placement. When where you put your gear storage before still exists. It's just now you have other options as well, which I find is great. So along with that, our new Tree Motion Pro, a couple little differences. The Pro will have, the upper attachments and the lower for gear storage. The Essential will just have the upper ones, and the Pro is going to go ahead and it's going to have this thicker back padding, and the Essential is going to have a thinner padding similar to the old Lite that we had. So both, it's funny because this is our premium model. With buckles, quick release buckles, and the thicker padding. But some of our ambassadors actually prefer the light version. Some people like to go light. They like thinner padding. They like less material on there, so they have a lighter, more streamlined harness. So both of our new harnesses in the product line are really fantastic options depending on your needs. So let's turn the harness around here, take a look at a couple more things here. We'll talk a little bit about our hardware and our attachment. I'm going to go ahead and put this harness on. As you can see, I added these suspenders on here. We don't make these. We're working on some other options for this harness, but we do have attachment points for suspenders on the new Tree Motion Pro and the Tree Motion Essential. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on and talk a little bit about some of the other add-ons we had. As you can see, beyond our normal suspension straps for life support that we have in the harness, we have the red elastic straps, okay? So when I put my harness on every day, I go ahead and I put the waist belt on first. It's elastic. Anybody that works anywhere with a lot of climate variation, like I work in the Midwest, we get 90-degree days, and we get days that are negative 20 below 0 Fahrenheit. And you're going to change the layers of clothes. You're going to be wearing chainsaw pants. Some days you're just going to be going to climbing competition. You're not going to be wearing those. And being able to easily adjust your harness is one of the things Teufelberger's been working on for years. It started out, it was a real fix. You'd get it to a position on the original harness. It was hard to adjust. The newer harness, we fixed that, but then it was kind of hard to get it to stay where you wanted to. This new line, our Essential and Pro, we really looked at that as something we wanted to identify. People want to be able to get in their harness. They want to be able to easily adjust it, right, depending on the day of work, how heavy the chainsaw is, what we're doing. So as you can see, the main waist belt here, it doesn't just have one anymore. It has adjustments on both sides of the buckles, okay? So when I go ahead and I hook that up, now I have the option. It was supported by the elastic band, so I could easily attach it. And now I have the option, as you can see, I can easily loosen it up right there, and now I can tighten it up from both sides. So if I want to, the original one had the buckle off to one side, and the new one it's centered. So if you like the buckle off to one side, you can just tighten it more on one side and loosen it on the other side if you like to have your buckle on one side. Or what I like is just to evenly pull from both sides, and then you can tighten it all the way up to your desired fit. So another option here, we do have the quick release buckles on the lower leg straps as well, as you can see there, just like we did on our Evo. But we also added the elastic straps here. And the reason why we did that is yet again, feedback from our customers and our ambassadors. People really want to be able to have their leg straps stay where you want them. I'll be honest with you, I like a real streamlined harness. And when I first got this harness, in your instructions, you can go ahead and cut those off if you'd like, if you don't like them. And I was initially going to do that, but then I started working with it for a while, and I really like how they keep my leg straps exactly where I want them when I'm working. So I left them on. So, I guess for people that are going to go out and buy them, go out and buy our Pro model, make sure you give all the features a shot and run them for a while before you just go, I want it just like as close to the old one as possible, because once I actually started working in this harness, I really appreciated those leg straps, just because it was keeping everything exactly where I wanted it, no matter how I was climbing and how I was moving throughout the tree. So let's take a look at a little bit of our suspension bridge, okay? So if you take a look, we have new hardware on our suspension bridge. I have a single rope bridge in right now, but as you can see, if you zoom in close, you can see 2 suspension bridge holes. So you have the option of putting in either a double bridge so that you have that added support of if you cut one bridge, you have the other one to back it up, or you can run 2 bridges independently with 2 rings, or whatever type of a swivel or whatever you'd like to put on your rope bridge that's approved to work with a rope bridge. So I think that's fantastic. Also, this is another thing we listen to our customers about. As you can see on our Evo, I have the bones in here with the sewn bridge, but the other option was the doubled bridge, double knotted bridge, right? In this configuration only. Well, our new harness, as you look up here, we have separate holes. You can do an individual knot. You don't have to stack the knots like these were. You can just do one single knot. So that streamlines it. A lot of people really didn't like the bulkiness of this. So we redesigned our harness. Our hardware is all now made in-house by Teufelberger. Our lower Ds are made by Teufelberger. Our bridge ring, the T-rings, made by Teufelberger. Our 2 hip rings for our lanyard attachment are also made by Teufelberger now. And of course, our open ring, which is our new product, is made by Teufelberger. So I forgot to put on my suspenders. So that's a really great feature too. We've had a suspender type system on our other harnesses that, we got a lot of feedback. People wanted to see changed a lot. So we've added these attachment points so we can put a little bit more traditionally structured H-style suspender on our new harness line. So, we look forward to all of our product lines that we've created. So, we're not just looking at it as this product, we're going to sell this. This is a piece of an entire line. The harness is the base, and in the future, we are going to be adding on to that. The innovations are going to be hopefully limitless with the amount of input we have from our ambassadors and our fantastic engineering staff. Patrick and everybody at Teufelberger keeps coming out with fantastic ideas, and between that and the feedback of the ambassadors and some of the ideas from them, we're going to do a lot of great things with this harness that I'm really excited about. And we already have. So, this option right here is fantastic. Anybody that's run a harness all day and had to do spar work and remove big wood with a large chainsaw is really going to appreciate this feature. It's something that I look forward to when I have to do a big removal, because it's something that didn't really exist in this level of comfort in the past. So let's backtrack a little bit here. We have our hardware, our new hardware that we have designed in our harness. We have the elastic straps. We have the thick padding on the Pro. The Essential is going to have the thinner padding. The Essential also won't have any of the buckles on it, the quick release buckles. So it'll be similar as our light model in our previous line. However, it's going to be still feature all of our new hardware, our double bridge options, and it's going to give you that basically the full range and versatility of this harness Pro, minus a couple of attachment points on the back. So, does anybody have? Do we have any questions out there before I keep rolling through here? Nothing.
I actually do have a question here from Christopher Van Gerp, and this we can kind of open this up to everybody. Can you explain the materials and construction of the rope bridge on the Tree Motion harnesses, including information on the testing and certification process?
I will take it over. Yeah, I will take it over. The rope bridge didn't change since past, 10 years. That means it's a Dyneema core with a polyester cover. The testing are according to European and NC standards. That means also testing in-house regarding the abrasion, the tet resistance or the abrasion, the braking strength, That means has a standard rope, because at the end it's a rope, but it's Dynamacore polyester cover.
Yeah, sure. So we'll go ahead and keep rolling. I'm gonna back up a little bit here. I have got a Cam3 Max with a rope wrench on it, and we got our EpiCord 10 mil on my double stiff tether here, and I'm gonna clip into that and just tighten this up a little bit so we can take a little look at our suspension. Yet again, this harness has a lot of innovation in it, but I kind of look at it as a combination of great new ideas and the greatest hits of Tree Motion's past history and products in the past. So we still maintain a lot of the fantastic functionality and design in our previous incarnations of the Tree Motion, but we are just tweaking everything to give everything a little bit better angle, a little bit more design and comfort, to just add to your ability to work longer and more efficiently in the harness and have that comfort and versatility that we've had in the past. So as you take a look, you can still see with my, my upper hip straps and my lower leg straps, I still have the full range, the full motion of this harness. When I rotate in a work position, when I'm climbing, it still moves with me and adjusts with me in the harness, giving me all the support I need in a consistent way. That's what is fantastic about the whole Teufelberger harness line from the beginning to end, is the fact that it gives you the full mobility of a natural movement with your harness staying where it needs to stay, no matter what position you're in, as opposed to a lot of older designed harnesses where every time you turn in the harness, it spins halfway around your body. It's not configured properly. It changes the whole dynamic of how it supports you. Here we have consistency on my legs and my lower back, keeping me in a good upright work position, even when I'm sitting in the harness, as opposed to a lot of other harnesses that I've used before this that were extremely uncomfortable to work in, especially for a long period of time. One of the things that I get asked a lot about is that, Teufelberger, we make a high-end product, high-quality product, and it costs money. And but based on the market and what things cost, when you're a new climber and you're going out and you're shopping, a lot of times, I remember when I first started climbing, I went out and I bought the harness I could afford. Well, that was fine to have a harness, but about a month later of climbing, I already had identified all the things I didn't like about the harness. So when I tell people having the Essential line and the Pro line, we have a full range of products with different price points. And if you're a new climber and you're looking at buying your first harness for yourself, I mean, invest in a harness that'll give you the best, allow you to climb the best you can now, but also give you the versatility to do what you're going to want to do in the future when you build a skill set that requires a better harness with more options. So don't paint yourself into a corner by buying a lesser harness. Buy a high quality harness like the Tree Motion Pro or the Tree Motion Essential that's going to give you the full range of options once you start learning how to utilize that. So take a step back here to this tree right next to me and talk a little bit more about just the basic construction of the Tree Motion in general. So as you can see, I have these upper hip attachments here with the T-rings, and then I have my lower Ds here. And these keep me in full suspension, natural suspension. So when we look at attaching with this, we are designed here where our upper rings here are designed for attaching when you're doing more upright work. So if you're standing in spikes and you're right on a spar and you need to be upright and make a chainsaw cut, well, that's what that's designed for, to keep you in that. That is not a suspension. It's a life support attachment point, but it's not really for our primary suspension, right? So the great thing about this, I can just take my hipster lanyard and clip it down here and put it in my lower Ds. And now, not only am I in suspension in my climbing system, but I'm in suspension in my backup life support lanyard. I've always loved this feature. If you can see, I'm starting to wear the green off of there. I use these so much, flipping back and forth from my upper and lower Ds, because the level of comfort and security that you have in this position is really superior to these upper hip attachment points that all harnesses have. So, the unique feature that we've developed with that, there's other harnesses that have it, but I don't find the functionality in it. There's a large amount of space in our lower Ds that allow you to put a huge variety of different life support hardware in there. Whether or not you're using just a standard carabiner, if you're putting like the new ANSI gate carabiners in there, larger gates or larger frame carabiners, it fits just about any life support product that you want to utilize for your lanyard in there. So everything is aluminum on here. So I do want to remind everybody, if you don't already know, always use aluminum carabiners with aluminum attachment points, because a steel carabiner will add undue wear to an aluminum piece of hardware and destroy it. You got to use compatible products, aluminum on aluminum and steel on steel. So remember that when you're picking out your carabiners. But this feature is fantastic. The ability to have that as an option is great. Also, another configuration, of course, you can always utilize your center attachment point with your rated Beckett on your lanyard, and you can utilize that as a secondary point too. So, we talked a little bit about the bridges construction. You went over that, and in the past, there's been a lot of questions about what we want to use. Let's step back over here to the other harnesses. I'm going to take this off. What we want to use as far as our replacement bridges, and people are always, well, can't I just buy the same cordage and make my own bridge? But the way the harness is designed, this backup stitching really needs to be in your replacement bridge for it to function properly based on the testing and the design of the harness. Teufelberger does a really good job of making all of our replacement parts extremely affordable and accessible, regardless of how much money you're making and you have to put in your harness. So just keep in mind when you do replace your bridge or add a bridge, to go ahead and make sure you buy the one that we make with the backup stitching in it, because otherwise it puts the wrong forces on the cordage, and it doesn't wear properly, and we can have premature weakening in the cordage on the bridge. So make sure you utilize the proper replacement parts. Which brings me to another great point, and that is that our new harness has, I believe, 10 different replaceable parts. And along with our opening ring, it now makes it even easier to replace things like our upper hip straps and things like that. So it's great because this new harness, which I don't know why I didn't mention it yet, but previously our harnesses have only been rated to be in service for 5 years. Our new harness line, the Essential and the Pro, can be in service for up to 10 years when properly inspected and maintained. So the ability to replace such a large number of parts in the harness is gonna let you get that full 10 years out of your harness when you purchase it. Which, as a climbing arborist, we all know the wear and tear we put on any harness, and realistically, keep a safe operating harness, I don't care who you buy it from, you're going to beat it up to the point where you're lucky if it makes it 10 years. So the ability to replace all the parts that we can on this harness really makes it a really great option financially, that you can keep replacing parts on and you can keep it lasting the entire life of the harness. So I think I covered most of the new features on the harness, and I went over some of the versatility of it. Is there anything, Ludo, Patrick, that you want to add, or any questions we have out there, or anything that I missed that we want to go back and talk about a little bit more?
We can maybe I will turn this camera, and we can give a look on the bumpers.
Oh, the bumpers? Yeah.
Yeah.
So multiple spots on the harness. We have these new pads, bumpers on the back padding here. We have it on the hips, which is right where your hip bones are, which is great, because if you're working and you get into a situation where you bump into something or you slam into something, that's there to cushion those hard points right where your hip bones are. And then on the back, right here on your spine, where we have that exposed portion of the harness, we have another large pad as well that does the same thing. It's a thicker pad, but it'll absorb the blow if you bump into something or slam into something, which all fits in to keep that full support in the back, but also streamlining the amount of the Haytex we use, which is our back material, to create the shape and design of the harness. So another thing that I like about the new harness, I'm going to go ahead and turn around again, is that the material we're now using for the main structure of the harness similarly to some of our earlier versions of our harness, is very flexible and malleable. So when you put this harness on, it really fits to your body and wraps around and forms to your body shape. I think a lot better than the Evo did, and it also is fantastic for storage, because when you're going to put it in your mule, your lazy mule, or whatever your gear bag you're using, it rolls up nice, and it stows really well, and it's much easier to move around and keep stowed, and yet again, and then it's still flexible and fits really well on your body. So I'm really happy with that. I love all the new hardware options. I like the rope bridge options. I like how easy it is to replace and tie in. I like being able to put in multiple bridges depending on what I'm doing. As you can see, I have one bridge in. I also like just going light sometimes and having a single bridge. So yet again, it's all about what you want to do with your harness. So the ability to do that is fantastic. The ability to have just so many options as far as where you're going to throw whatever gear you want. You know, I have a custom loop up here with elastic that's in our original harness. I can put my multi-sling in. Maybe I'm going up to the top of the tree and I want to do some moving rope work. I got another DMM vault right there. I can throw my pulley saver on there, run up there and throw in my tachyon system and go ahead and run a moving rope after I ascend. On this KM3 Max on my SRS system I got behind me. I have just plenty of options of where I can throw my equipment on and easily be able to reach it and configure it exactly so I can, blindly at work. We all know we set up our harness a certain way. We want to be able to just reach back and find our gear. I have my chainsaw lanyard over here. Yet again, it's always right where I want it. I have the options of putting my vault for my saw right there. That's always a concern for me. What I love about this harness is, regardless of the harness you used before, there's so many options of where you can place your gear on it. You're going to find the spot, that exact spot where you want to put your handsaw. So every time you reach back there to get it, it's exactly where you want it. There's nothing more frustrating when you're working, especially with a new harness, where you thought you set it up the way you wanted to. You go to reach for your gear, it's not where you want it. You go to grab a carabiner, it's somewhere silly. When you get the number of options we have and the ability to just fully customize your harness, it really makes for a much more efficient harness. It makes it essentially safer, because anytime we have that opportunity to drop something, it might be a little carabiner, but you might be reaching back to get a full size rigging block, and your big sling with a dead eye on it, and then you drop it out of the tree on somebody. So if you can configure everything exactly the way you want it, that works the best for you, to me, that's a safer, more efficient bet. It's worth every penny, and that's really what I love about the whole Tree Motion line since day one. And the number of things that we've changed to make it more efficient, more accessible, to allow us to produce as many as possible in as high a quality manner as possible, has really made me happy with this whole program and the redesign of our whole harness line. So, any questions?
Yes. What are the sizes on these harnesses?
So we have the standard size, which is the medium. We have a smaller size, and then of course, for you larger, or as we say, big and tasty people, we have a larger size harness. What is the range on those, Ludo?
I have it just in front of me. For the small size, I will go on inches. The total waist is 27 to 33 inch. For the medium, it's 31 to 41 inches, and for the large, it's 36 to 50 inches. I will give it maybe in centimeters also if we have some European climbers around. For the small one, it's 69 to 86 centimeters. For the medium one is 80 to 105 centimeters, and for the large is 92 to 129 centimeters. Normally, we should be able now to cover the entire range of body shape we can find in our industry.
Great. The other thing here, and I may have missed you talking about it with the suspenders. If there's any possibility in the future of models where you're able to install suspenders and have it be rated for fall protection or for aerial lift use.
Today it's not possible. That means we don't have any solution ready yet. What is sure, a lot of options and new options will be added to the tree motion in 2023 and 2024. And we are working not just on the full arrest, I would say, suspender, but even more. But unfortunately, as you can imagine, we can't speak in details about it. But what I can tell you, for example, in terms of options, we're coming with different paddings. We'll come with really breathable paddings, probably before the end of this year or beginning of next year. We come also with some other paddings will help people to climb when it's really cold. I can't say more, but we are working on it. We are working on our own suspender because today we don't have it. For that, Bo is using the one from Hubsrana, who fits well, but it's not made by us. I mean, a lot of new options will come.
Okay, great. And I believe that's all I have for you. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us today. And thank you, Ludo, Patrick, Jason, and Bo, for giving us this presentation.
And see you in Treetopia, end of July.
What was that?
See you in Treetopia.
Oh, yeah,
end of July.
Treetopia. If you go to Tree Stuff, we have links for Treetopia all over the place. Go sign up and see us out there. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, hit it.
Great. Thanks, everybody.
All right.
And
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.